Hey guys, today I'm filming the second update in my chopping block series for 2021. I am really excited because I have a ton of stuff that I'm decluttering today, over 50 products, which is exciting for me, but I know the flip side of that is that it sucks that either I'm getting rid of stuff I spent my money on or I'm passing on things that were decluttered to me. So yes, there are mixed feelings about it, but I am continuing to bring things into my collection, so I'm happy that things are leaving so that my collection isn't just massively getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So in this series, I give you guys reviews on the chopping blocks products that I tested. I let you know any other things that I decluttered, anything that I returned, and anything I had to throw out because it expired. So I did actually return a lot of stuff this month, but this is going to be such a huge video, I'm not going to get into it, but I will list off the things that I returned, and then in my monthly ranking video is where I will give you my thoughts on all of those products. So I returned the Artist Couture Ethereal Bloom Eyeshadow Palette, Natasha Denona Love Cheek Duo, the Kosas Moisturizing Bronzer in Light, Makeup by Mario Quad in Bronzy Glam, the Rare Beauty Glossy Lip Balm in Nearly Apricot, the NARS Soft Matte Tinted Lip Balm in Unrestricted, the Beauty Bakery Cotton Candy Champagne Blush Palette, the MAC Extra Dimension Blush in Look Don't Touch, and the NYX Shine Loud Liquid Lipstick in Overnight Hero. So it was a ton of stuff, and really none of those products were bad. They were just okay for me, and I have so much makeup. I don't want to keep things that are just okay, especially if I don't think I'm actually going to reach for them too often. So that's why those went back, because most of those were high-end products that even with a 15% discount just wasn't good enough. So a lot of things I returned. I haven't returned that much stuff in a long time, but I feel okay with it. So now let's just get into the chopping block products. There aren't actually any chopping block items that I will be keeping. Everything that I tested over the past couple months, I decluttered, and there actually are several things here that I didn't test, but recently I was going through my box of chopping block products and I just got real with myself and decided to get rid of a lot of stuff that I knew I just wasn't going to reach for or didn't really need. So some of them I have not actually tried. So without further blabbering, I'm just going to jump in with two primers. The Revlon Prime Plus Brightening and Skin Tone Evening Primer. So when they say that skin tone evening, it really does have a color to it. It's like a golden orangey color, which is really weird. It has some shimmer in it, and it feels pretty thick, which I don't like. So for all of those reasons, I will be decluttering that. And then the Flower Beauty In Your Prime Pore Minimizing Primer is a green tinted primer. Actually, nothing is wrong with this. It feels really smooth. I was able to see a slight green tint, but your face is not going to look green. I do think this will help neutralize a little bit of redness. I think it's interesting that that's not what this claims to do. I mean, it's not super pigmented, but I can see a little bit of a cast on my skin. But this is a nice primer. It feels like a little slippy, but not too silicone-y. I can definitely see how this would be pore minimizing. I just have too many primers in my collection, so I would like to pass this on to someone else, but this did seem really nice. If I had a smaller collection, I do think I would hold on to it to use it up. Then I've got one bronzer, and that would be the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores bronzer in the Beach shade. I think they only have one, and I mentioned before that I had gotten this in a gift set for a really good price because my friend Jean had raved about this for years, but IT Cosmetics has since reformulated the bronzer and it is so much more hard pressed. It's really hard to get up the product. I did dig my brush in there and I did get product on, but I didn't really see it on my skin. So I'm going to pass that on to someone who likes a lighter bronzer look that's also fair complected like myself. I have one highlighter. It is the Makeup Obsession Mega Honey Highlight. And this is a really pretty baked product. It's such a nice color. This was a brand that was sold at Target for a time. I'm not sure if it still is or not. And it's a nice smooth formula. It's a pretty color. It's a really nice gold shade, but it's just too dark for me. So I'm going to be passing this on to a friend that has a bit more of a tan skin tone. Then we've got a bunch of blushes. First is the Ciate Marbled Light Blush in the shade Dusk. It is a baked blush, and it's just not necessarily my kind of shade. It's a little bit more on the pinky side, and I just don't need it. It did have a decent amount of pigment to it, but just nothing super special. I'm also getting rid of the Ciate blush. This was something that I think was made for BoxyCharm, and then this is something you can buy at Sephora. I'm not sure the name of these blushes. I think they're like Glow 2 illuminating blushes or something like that. And the number one thing I hate about them is that the packaging is so hard to open. So this is the shade Summer Love. It's a really pretty peachy color, and it has some gold reflex, gold piece throughout it to give like a shimmery look. I just don't reach for this enough. I know I have some friends that would really like to try that. Next, I am gonna be decluttering Naked Rose from Alabaster. It's a beautiful matte blush. It's very pigmented. It blends nicely. This is really good quality. I just have a huge blush collection, and I don't reach for this one over others. And the same with this. This one actually makes me sad to let go of. This is the It Cosmetics CC Radiance Ombre Blush in Je ne sais quoi. I mentioned this in a yearly favorites video a few years ago, but I've just kind of grown out of it. There are other blushes I reach for, more newer blushes. Again, my blush collection is huge, so when I let things go, I'm letting go of things that I like, but I just don't reach for, and I have other things that I prefer. But this is a really nice satin finish, like warm pink leaning coral blush. Very, very pretty. And then I'm getting rid of 2 MAC blushes. That would be What I Fancy and Spring Flock. These were limited edition blushes, but they were in the regular black packaging. I depotted them, put them in my MAC palette, but I used Z palette magnets, and the MAC magnets and the Z palette magnets are not the same. That was so stupid of me. I didn't realize until after it was done, so that's a bit of a bummer. So they don't actually like stick to the MAC palettes, but any other magnetic palette it will stick to. The MAC ones are just different from all the others for some reason. And these are pretty blushes, but I think it's because they were limited edition blushes, not in special packaging, not in like regular pans. I don't reach for them because they're like a little annoying for me, but the colors are really pretty. But again, I have similar shades and I don't need those, which it's very hard for me to let go of MAC blushes. I love my MAC blushes so much. And then I'm also going to be decluttering this Too Faced Natural Face Palette, and one of my highlighters is broken. And I still haven't used this on my face yet, but I went through and swatched it, and just some of these other like more nude colors are a little bit too dark for me. That pink is too bright. I know I could mix them, but I'm just not reaching for this at all. I have other face palettes I would rather use, so I'm just going to give that to another friend. I think that would be exciting to have. Then we've got my eye products. So I will start with the 2 things that are not palettes. The first is the Charlotte Tilbury Color Chameleon Amber Haze for Brown Eyes Shadow Stick. I think that this is very pretty. I have a bunch of shadow sticks, but this is just not a color that I reach for a whole ton. And I'm also going to be getting rid of the Stila Smudge Stick Waterproof Eyeliner in Turquoise. This is a beautiful color, performs really well. I have ColourPop Zulu, which is similar enough. And the packaging on this one is a little jacked up, so it's hard to twist up and down. You really have to like push it up and twist it to get product to come up, because I thought that I was running out several times, and then like I was finally able to get a little more up, but the packaging is just annoying, and I got this as a free gift forever ago anyways. And then we have a whole bunch of eyeshadow palettes, and all of these were decluttered to me from friends except for these first 2. And like I've said before, I feel bad when I declutter things that were gifted to me because I don't want my friends to think I'm not appreciative. And also, they always will send me pictures and say, hey, do you want anything? And I'm picking these things and I'm testing them out, and I'm just not in love. So I am finding homes for these. So these are not going to go in the trash. They're not going to go to waste. I will find someone else who will love and accept these items. So like I said, there were 2 things that I had purchased myself, and these were 2 of the e.l.f. bite-size eyeshadows, and I don't think that anything is wrong with these. I actually think they perform very well. I was really impressed with these, especially some of the shimmers, but I have these shades a million times over, and I would rather reach for some other palettes over these. So I'm gonna pass them on, but if e.l.f. releases any unique color stories, then I will definitely think about picking them up, because I was impressed with the formula. These are just basic, and I just kind of fell into the hype and wanted to try them. So the first one here is the Warm Neutral Pumpkin Pie. This metallic is insane. And the other shade is Berry Bad. So again, nothing is wrong with these. I just know I wouldn't get the most use. Then I'm going to talk about 3 palettes I have used, and then the rest I haven't. I'm just deciding to get rid of them. So the first one is ColourPop Aura and Out. And I hate that this palette and the others from this collection have those matte shades with glitter, which is just so annoying. And they're in like the lightest pastel shades for the most part. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if they were hoping to make them easier to blend, but the glitter actually shows up on my eye. It makes so much kick up in the pan, fall out on your face. It makes the shadows just so messy and annoying to work with. However, some of the mattes in here are really nice. Like this green performs well. And then this green and these 2 blues are really nice. I actually think that I've decided that I'm going to depot the shade New Age. I think that one performs really well, and it's a really beautiful blue mint color. I hate to just take one shade out of a palette. I don't like passing something on that isn't complete, but I really do want that color in. Hopefully a friend won't mind. Next, we've got the Dose of Colors Ice Cream Dream palette. I did review both of these in my monthly makeup ranking video for April, and I just wasn't overly impressed with it. The colors are a bit random. I think that the mint performed really well. This like coppery shade right there is really beautiful. I just don't love the color selection overall, and I'm not gonna reach for this palette just for those 2 shades, but the performance is pretty good. And then we've got the Buxom Boss Babe Dolly palette. And this performed pretty well, but I just wish that the shimmers were a bit more metallic, a bit more punchy. They're almost like a satiny shimmer, which is not my favorite. I love my shimmers to be foiled. And I know for some of their singles, they are really nice and foiled, and some are more of just like a softer shimmer. And I just was hoping for a little bit more punch, but the products perform well. They're really pretty colors. I just don't need it. And then the rest of the palettes, like I said, I haven't used, but I just decided I don't need them. And the first would be the Kylie Bronze 9 pan. And the shimmers in here are very pretty. I just think it's kind of weird that they've got some like really cool tone shimmers, some really warm mattes in here. I just feel like they don't make a lot of sense all together. And the shades that I do like from here, I have in other palettes. Then 2 of the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Vault palettes. This is Dark Magic. I don't really wear dark shades very often. I just wanted these to complete the set, but I realized how silly that is. And then the other one is Armed and Gorgeous. Again, I've got similar shades to this one. And I know that this one is a little patchier than some others, but very pretty colors. And I am going to be giving these to my sister-in-law because she gets excited every time I give her a Morphe palette. So I think that she will like those. And then to my other sister-in-law, I am going to give the Kylie palette and this ColourPop palette, which is All I See Is Magic. I've given her a lot of palettes that are more neutrals, and I think that this is a palette of like wearable colors, and I think that will be really fun for her. This was a really fun palette, a good assortment of shades. I just don't need it. And then next I have some palettes I'm going to be giving to my friend Jean. The first is this little mini Lorac and Rachel Zoe palette. This is Hollywood Glamour, I believe is the name of it. And you've got some more neutrals in this one and a pressed glitter. Then we have the Ace Beauty Vintage Dawn palette. Really pretty shades in here. I just don't know if I'm skilled enough to be able to blend those mattes, and I know my friend Jean would love those colors. And then the Lorac Mega Pro 1. I remember when this released, I wanted it so bad because I thought that this like mulberry shade was so unique, and it's gorgeous, do not get me wrong, but I, again, just don't think I'm going to be reaching for this as much. And really, this almost looks like an all matte palette because the shimmers in here are such like a subtle satin finish that it's just not for me. So that was a lot of shadow leaving my collection. And now I've got some lip products. I have all 5 of my remaining nude sticks. I got rid of a lot last year as well. And I really wanted to be a nude sticks girl. I really did. I want to be like Mariah Leonard and Jay Kissa and Jamie Page and Alana. And I want to be like all of them, but I'm not. I am not. I just don't love these formulas. I cannot get them to work for me. I don't like any of the lip pencil formulas besides the Intense Matte Lip and Cheek Pencil is definitely the best. I like that formula the most out of all of them, but I have other lip products I would reach for over these that I prefer formula wise and color wise. So I've got 2 full sizes and 3 minis. So I have, this one is just the Lip and Cheek Pencil in Sin. Then the rest are the Intense Matte. So this one is Kiss, Belle, Purity, which is a mauve, and then Retro, which is a really pretty color. I was tempted by this, but I don't wear deep vampy shades often enough to keep this, but that color is everything. I'm so tempted by that. I'm tempted right now to keep it, but I shan't. I'm gonna pass those on to friends as well because I know a lot of people do like nude sticks. Then I'm gonna get rid of this Dose of Colors lipstick. I cannot remember the name of these, and this is in Cinnamon Swirl. And I have a few other lip products this color, which I think is pretty, but I never reach for those either. And I do have a friend that's really excited to try this. And then I have what I'm wearing today, which is the Anastasia Liquid Lipstick in Crush. I really like this shade, and the formula is not bad on this one. For some reason, it's not feeling as dry as some of the others. But I swatched this next to Dose of Colors Lazy Daisy and Flirty, and this falls right in between. So because I have those other 2, I don't think I need this one. And I can't remember if I just said it or not, but this was my final Anastasia liquid lipstick. So I am gonna pass this on as well. So I'm just gonna jump in right here because I did decide to declutter 5 more chopping block products. I'm actually filming this part on the day that I was gonna be posting this video, and I didn't want to wait 2 more months to actually pass these products along to someone else because I do have people in mind for all 5 of these, which is fantastic. And I thought I would throw these in at the tail end of my chopping block declutters. So the first 2 would be these Too Faced Love Flush blushes. And I actually really like these. They're very beautiful. I enjoy the formula a lot. I just have other blushes that I reach for more that are a little bit newer, more exciting to me. So the peachy shade is I Will Always Love You, and this pink one is Funfetti, which was limited edition. I love these, look like little Polly Pocket hearts. I think that is so cute, and I'm actually going to pass these along to my sister. She is definitely in need of a blush refresh, and I think that this would be a beautiful like peach and coral color for her. Next, I have the ColourPop Miss Bliss palette. It is from the same collection as that other pastel palette, Aura and Out. And in this palette, we have 4 mattes with glitter, which is insane. 4 out of 9 shades. That is way too much. That is awful. And it initially came with a pressed glitter instead of this other shade here. My friend Jean swapped it out before she sent it to me. So if I did actually buy this palette with that pressed glitter, I would have hated 5 of the 9 shades. These 2 that are mattes are really nice. And then the 2 shimmers are pretty, a little flaky. They can accentuate dryness a little bit, but they look prettier on the eye than they do in a swatch. But I just know I'm not going to reach for this palette. The couple of shades that I do really like, I have similar shades, but I am going to pop out this center shade here. It's really pretty, and I don't know what the name of it is, which drives me crazy and almost makes me not want to hang on to it, but I do want it. It is a really pretty shade, so Here is the palette close up. Again, this is Miss Bliss. Then I'm also going to get rid of the Dominique Cosmetics Lemonade palette. So this comes with 10 shades. You have 4 mattes, 6 shimmers. The mattes are very nice. They're pigmented. They blend out nicely. I just feel like the mattes are really rich and kind of weird colors to be going with these pastel shimmers. I think because they do have some depth, that will make them work for a larger variety of skin tones, which is good and is important. I just feel like there should have been some lighter mattes included as well. But I know they only had so many shades, and I used these 2 shimmers on my lid, and I thought that they looked pretty, especially that peach shade. It has a pretty like golden flip to it, but these are a little bit sheer and they do have to be built up. It's not a challenge to build them up, but I do wish that they were just really pigmented initially. So this palette is fine, but nothing super special, and I just don't love the colors of the shimmers and the mattes together, so I'm gonna pass that. And then the last palette is the Violet Voss Nicole Concilio palette. So you have got a lot of neutrals in here, and in this palette it's almost like down the middle, half matte, half shimmer, which is great. I really like that ratio. I love my warm mattes. I was really tempted to keep this one, but I wasn't really that drawn to the shimmers, and I definitely have these mattes over and over again. And I do have a friend that I am going to be giving a bunch of skincare to, and I am also going to be giving her the Holy Grail palette, and I thought that this would go nicely with that to give even more neutral options, because that one leans more like orangey tone, more red tone, and this one has some more like bronzes, and I just thought the 2 of those would go nicely together, especially for someone that doesn't really wear eyeshadow. I thought this would be great to dip her toe in. So those are the 5 additional chopping block products that I'm going to be getting rid of. So then in this bag I have all of the random makeup products that I am going to be decluttering, and I'm just going to pull this out grab bag style. I'm not going to go by category unless I just specifically see them. Like right now I've got 5 foundations in my view that I'm going to talk about all at once. So that would be the Bare Minerals Original Liquid Mineral Foundation. This is just a little sample. And number 3, Fairly Light. I hated this. It oxidized on me, didn't give any coverage, made me greasy, didn't wear well. This just looked so ugly on me. No thank you. Then the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the shade number 3. Great shade match for me, but I just was not impressed with this foundation. It did not give the coverage that I was looking for, and it's a little too dewy on me, and it doesn't hold up all day. But I'm so excited to give this to a friend. Then I have the Clinique Even Better Foundation, and this is in CN 0.5 shell, and this is something that I have been using for the past year as a mixer, and it works well for that because it is very fair and yellow tone, and that's pretty amazing because most Clinique foundations are incredibly orange or pink in the fair range, but the Even Better foundation actually had a ton of shades, which is nice. So this foundation I was using it as a mixer, but I actually have a shade of the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation that I can use as a mixer as well, and I like that formula better. It works better for my oily skin. It gives more coverage, so I would rather keep that one over this one, and I don't like it enough to use on its own. And speaking of Clinique, I just got this foundation as my diamond gift, and I'm still happy I chose it because I'm going to give this to my sister. This is the Beyond Perfecting Foundation, and this is in the shade Flax WN01. This is the lightest warm tone shade. It is much too dark for me, and it is a little orangey, so I'm hoping it won't look orange on my sister, but I know this shade depth will work for her, and she's struggling with some acne right now, so I think that this will give some nice coverage. So I'm really hoping it works for her, but yeah, not for me. And I don't even bother purchasing Clinique foundations because their shade range, especially the undertones, is just terrible. And I know that from, I used to work at an Estee Lauder counter, and Clinique was of course right across from me, and I would help out over there, and I had a terrible time shade matching fair people. And then I'm also going to be passing on this e.l.f. Camo CC cream in Light 240W. This was sent to me by my friend Lauren, and I was really excited to try this, but when I did try it out, it's just way too dark for me, and I'm not gonna get enough summer color to be able to wear this, but I think this will work for my sister when she gets a tan. She's already a little darker than me, so I'm gonna pass this on to her. I think she'll like the coverage of that as well. I lied. I am gonna pull things out by category because you guys know I can't help myself. I'm just not fun like that. So I actually have 2 cream products here. The first would be the Alabaster cream pigment in the shade Hollow. This is just a little bit too cool tone for my preference. The formula is really nice though. I just don't think I'm gonna reach for it a ton. And then I'm also getting rid of the Nude Sticks Nudies All Over Face Color Bronze in the Sun Kiss shade, which is very pretty, but it's just a little too dark for me. The matte formula is not as easy to blend out as the dewy formula, which I do think is really nice. But like I said, not much of a Nude Sticks girl, so I'm gonna pass that. Then I have 2 powder bronzing products. So this is something that I have not used, so I'm gonna put it in a giveaway. It is a mini NARS Laguna bronzer. And I've had this before and the color just doesn't work for me and the formula doesn't wow me. I know it's a huge favorite amongst a lot of people, but did nothing for me. Sorry, you just saw my nursing bra strap. And the other product is this Illamasqua powder eyeshadow in Heroin, which I purchased to use as a contour. Worked fine, but I just am not in love. I have other contours I prefer. As you guys know, I'm not really into super cool tone contours. Then I'm getting rid of some blushes. Again, these Illamasqua blushes. And it's just because I had hyped these products up so much in my head. I'd wanted them for years. I was in undergrad when I wanted these, and I just realized I don't actually need them, but I'm super, super appreciative to be able to have tried them. And I'm excited to pass these on to a friend as well. So these are 2 powder blushes in Tremble and Hussy. So beautiful. Like, it hurts me to pass these on. Apologize for the change in the lighting. My camera overheated. We just have a couple more products. So sadly, I am going to be passing on this Hourglass blush palette. This was decluttered to me and I think it's very pretty. I do have 2 individual Hourglass blushes that I purchased from the BoxyCharm Facebook group, and I do not understand the hype. Why are these special? I don't get it. I prefer blushes that have a bit more pigment to them, and they're just too natural for me. They're not matte, they're not shimmery. I don't know. I don't understand why these are so amazing. But this palette comes with Luminous Flush, Incandescent Electra, and Mood Exposure. I am happy to be sending this to my friend Jean, who is absolutely in love with this blush formula. So I'm more than happy to send that to her. Then I've got some more eye products. This is the Milani Shadow Eyes Pencil in Snowy White. It is a matte white base. I've had this for forever, and I think it still performs well. It's just as creamy as the day I bought it, even though it's very old, but I just don't need this anymore. I have other bases that I can make work. Then I have this single shadow from Makeup Geek. It's called Sure Thing. It is a matte mint color, and it is just very my brain. It's patchy, it's very light, it is hard to build up, so it's just not for me. I don't want to fool with it anymore. I, in the same vein, have the e.l.f. Mint Melt Quad in Mint to Be, and I just did not like this. I don't think it performed as well as their other mini palettes, and I feel like the shimmers looked a little flaky on the eye. These mattes are just hard colors in general to get to blend or to build nicely, so I'm gonna be getting rid of that. And then I have another e.l.f. quad that I have not used yet. This is Hot Jalapeno, and I'm gonna put this in a giveaway. I will be getting the Kaleidos new like Flower Punk palette that has similar shades, and I do have Dose of Colors Cutting Edge palette that has similar shades as well, so I'm just going to put that in a giveaway since it's unused. I also have got this Tarte Chrome Paint Shadow Pot in Wild at Heart. It's a really pretty duochrome color, but I just didn't love the way it looked on my eyes. I did wear it a couple different times, and I'm going to be letting go of that, which is hard for me because I love this formula, but not my most favorite shade. Then I've got some lip products, not as many lip products as I normally do, and that's a good sign. I think I've really gotten rid of most of the things that I don't love. I do still have some things to test out later this year, but these are 3 lip care products. So this is the Bite Beauty Agave Nighttime Lip Mask, and I did not love this. I didn't find it to be the most hydrating. I definitely prefer their lip mask that's in a squeeze tube over the nighttime potted version. I'm also going to be getting rid of this duo from Franken Body. It is their coffee lip scrub and lip balm. I felt like the lip scrub actually like tore up my lips a little bit and made them feel very irritated the next day. And the lip balm is nice. It's very hydrating and smooth. It also smells like coffee, and I don't love the coffee scent. And I know this would take me forever to get through. It has half a fluid ounce. I'd rather just pass this on as a duo. And then I've got 3 nail polishes that I'm going to be decluttering, which was hard for me. They're all really pretty shades, but I'm, you know, trying to just get down my polish collection to things I really love. And I am still buying polishes, not a ton though, which is great. I don't know the last time I purchased a nail polish that wasn't KO Polish Lights Lacquer 90 Lacquer. I have not purchased like a mainstream SEOPI in years probably. That is crazy. That like just hit me. I think a couple years ago I bought a Color Club polish that was a hollow. I'm looking at my polishes right now. Yeah, not in forever. That is crazy. I don't know why, I just feel so stunned. Anyway, this is Pretty Serious Peace on Earth, which is a dupe for Chanel's Jade, I believe. And I just don't love polishes that have more of that like opal reflect to them. It's not my thing. I don't think it looks very pretty on my nails. And then I'm getting rid of 2 Kale Polish shades, which is hard, one of my favorite formulas ever. But I just didn't love these colors on me. First is November. It's like a rosy pink color, a little like salmon mixed in. I just never knew what season to wear this in. And I really bought most of the polishes from this collection, and I wear all of them more than this one. And then this is Libra. I was hoping this would look a bit more of like a pink tone purple, but it actually looks like a purple tone pink, which I don't love. I would prefer it to be a little bit more on the purpley side, but these both perform super well. And then there are 2 products that I'm going to be throwing out because they're dried up, and these are 2 ColourPop Super Shock shadows. The first one is a pearlized finish in the shade Muse, and I actually repurchased this one. It's one of my favorite shades. It's such a pretty rosy color. And the other one, whoops, that just slid across onto the floor. The other one is Belladonna Lily. It's a matte shade, and it is just super dried up, very hard to work with, but it was a really pretty color. But I don't recommend the mattes. I don't even think I know they don't release them anymore, but I don't even know if they have any more satins or mattes on their website. Who knows? They get rid of everything, especially the things that I like. So that's out of here. So I did not count up everything, but I know it's over 50 products that I let go of today, which feels great. And I've already found homes for a lot of these products, but I will be messaging some more of my friends about some of these things so I can hopefully find homes for everything. I'm really lucky that I know a lot of people in my life, mostly thanks to YouTube, that are open and willing and wanting to accept makeup products. And then I do have some personal friends and family as well. So like I said, these 2 products will be coming in a future giveaway, and everything else has been used. It will be going to friends and family. But I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I would love to know what things you have decluttered or returned recently. I would love to hear your thoughts on any of these products here. And I did somewhat recently post a series on if I had to cut my collection in half. I'll link that up in the cards, and there were several things that I mentioned in that video in the past pile that I did actually let go of today, but I'm hoping that in my next chopping block update in 2 months, I'll be able to let go of even more products. So definitely make sure you subscribe to stay tuned to see what happens there. But I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.